a fix it, my Freckled list. I am gonna finish this. I go, ooh, what's that? Dear friend. Yes, balls to the wall, because sometimes I give up. How hard could it be? Think about what they did way back into the vault. We're like, you're making a mess. I'm trying to do a video right now. I don't know if you can see him, but Chandler's in the way. Get off the chair, Chandler. Ooh. There we go. All right, we'll just let him stay here for a second. So welcome back and welcome to the new viewers out there. I appreciate you coming back or coming to check us out for the very first time. My name is Becky and I am a good enough girl. Pretty much everything that I do, I strive to make sure that I'm good enough. I don't need to be Pinterest perfect, and I just want things to be good enough so I can get by. That's kind of my goal. So today, I figured I'd just take a quick minute to talk about February, Fix It, Frog It, or Finish It February. I think I already said February twice. February, can I say February more? February. Since we're almost to the end of the month, I wanted to basically go through some of the way back projects that I've actually had sitting around that don't even have a Ravelry page for, that I started years ago. And we'll talk about some of those. And hopefully I can make some decisions. There's a few things that I'm pretty confident I'm going to get really nervous about that I don't want to get rid of. But it's like you're too far in, you put too much into it, and so you don't want to give up yet. So we'll go through all that, and remember to like, subscribe, and check the notification bell, so that way whenever I go post a new video, you will get access to it and know about it immediately. And also, please share this with some of your friends. This is just a place to hang out. It's a no judgment zone. And hopefully we can kind of just be chill and get some fun things done together. And if you need a friend to knit with, I'm here for you. All right, so let's get started. Chandler might be sticking with me for a little while. If you can hear his lungs, you might hear some crackling and some bubbling. He is almost 11 and he has asthma. So we give him an inhaler a couple times a day. And he still bubbles and crackles, but he's our best boy. So he may stick around for a little bit. He may just take off. But so Chandler, say hi to the people. Say hi, people. Hi, people. No, oh, you're a good boy. All right, he's a very tolerant boy. All right, so let's get started. I'm not gonna do these in any particular order. I am just gonna kind of go through, and some of them you may not have ever seen before. So some of this is gonna be like, ooh, what's that? And oh, are you gonna keep that? Ooh, what are you doing with that? So first project. So this is the cabled bralette, I believe, from Knitatude. So this is something that I started probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was kind of when I was jumping back onto the knitting train. And I love the color. I love the fabric. I probably need to try it on to see if it even still fits anymore. But I really was enjoying the process of this, and I thought I was doing some good work. So I finished the back already. So the back, it's basically got kind of a knitted belly panel, but I think it's going to be a little bit longer, just past the belly button. And beautiful kind of a dusty purple. The back has been finished and already ribbed and everything like that. And the front, I had started on one side. So basically you go in a circle, then you bind off the back, and then you start working up each of the individual cups right here. And it's got a really nice braid detail. I don't know if you can see that. So a nice braid detail up the sides and even down the front side. So I love it. I love the idea of it. So here's where things went south. I can't find the rest of my yarn. I bought enough. I know I had enough because I'm pretty sure I bought this as a kit. And this is 100% superwash merino from Lion brand, and it is the color Quail. So beautiful. I love purples, as you've probably figured out. Beautiful, beautiful fabric, beautiful yarn, beautiful pattern. I just don't know where the yarn is. So I'm trying to decide. This might actually be on my Freckled list. Even though I've put so much work into it, it's like throwing good money after bad. Is it worth continuing? Does it even fit anymore? Because it was a few years ago. Things have changed. Life has moved forward. I've become more mature in my advanced age. And my body has gone along with that. So, and this looks pretty loose and unstructured in the back. So I think this will actually be, I'm really bummed, but I think this is going to be a Freckled. And then I think what I will do is I will find, because, you know, as we all know, I have tons of yarn. So it looks like it's about a DK weight. So I can go find something else in a DK weight that will come out just as beautifully, and maybe a more appropriate fabric for a very summery garment instead of a superwash merino. So braided bralette by Knitatude, I love you, but you're gonna have to go. So I'll probably record a video of me undoing this and crying the whole time. But I have a pattern, I can always make another one, and I probably will. So goodbye to you. Goodbye, my dear friend. All right, you can see my glamorous project bags that I've been using for years and years and years. I mean, we use these bags till they die, and this one has not yet died, so it's still being used. Okay, so let's get that one back in there. So that might be, oh, here's some of the rest of the yarn, but I don't have any more. So I think this will maybe do one side up to a strap, but that's it. All right, moving right along. So in this bag, we have the big cozy Cardi. Huzzah! I'm so excited. I want this done, and it's taking me a really, 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 really long time. So I cast this on about 1.5 years ago, and I've talked about it a fair amount on here. I am gonna finish this. I am gonna continue working on it. It's the Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. And it's basically just a giant rectangle done in one of her favorite stitch patterns. And then you take the edges of the rectangle and you basically seam them up the arms so that you have sleeves, and then you add a cuff onto them. And then the pièce de résistance is you pick up along the entire front panel, up and around. You'll pick up stitches so that you can add on the Surrey alpaca collar, the shawl collar. So I'm not looking forward to that part, but I am looking forward to having this finished. And the yarn that I'm using is, I think it's Brooklyn General Stores, and it's called Ursa Minor, I believe, is the Ursa Minor. And so if you look at the texture, it's really good. I love knitting it. It's super fun to knit. I've kind of mastered the pattern, which is nice. But it does take me about 3 hours to do 10 rows, and 10 rows is about that much. So this is kind of a, when I'm not rushing to get something else finished that I want to wear really quickly, or I need something just to fill in the time, this will be something that I can keep doing. The colorway is Steamy Kitchen Window, which is a really fun colorway. And it's a really nice, it's a nice fabric. It's a really nice yarn. And so I will be continuing the Big Cozy Cardi. I just don't have any time commitments on it. I know Andrea Mowry will be doing her March to May knit along that's coming up in March, which hopefully you'll see this before March. But if you don't, or you're watching later, how'd it go? How was the March to May knit along? Did I finish this? So this will kind of be in my back pocket, and but I will keep going on it. So I will be finishing the Big Cozy Cardi, and I'll just keep talking about it until it's done. So you may get bored of hearing about the Big Cozy Cardi, but well, that's just life. And I'll show you, this is the yarn, Skydance Fibers, and on the back, can you see that? Steamy Kitchen Window, and it's Cormo Merino, and Romney. It's very, very, I wouldn't say luxurious, but it's a very cozy feeling yarn. So I'm very excited to keep working on that. All right, I think that is Andrea Mowry's original colorway for the actual sweater itself, but I'm gonna be doing a different Odang from Farmer's Daughter Fibers around the collar. I got Winter Wolf to finish this off instead of, I think she had Aquamini instead. So I'm using a different color. All right, so 2 down, more to go. In here, I know I've talked about this recently, but I'm just gonna bring it up because I've had such a love-hate relationship with this thing, and I wanna let you know where it's at and where it's going. So you've heard me talk since last year about the outline tee by Jessie Maed Designs. So I ended up casting it on 5 different times. I twisted it in the round 2, and I made 2 of the wrong sizes. They were just way too big. And so I've downsized it. And I mentioned on my last one at the Canmore retreat that my friend Holly was so kind as to get it into the round and knit me a row. And I just took it from there. And so I've been knitting on it for about 10, 12 days now. And so here's where we're at. I've got 9 inches done. So if you want to check that out up close, I love the colorway. It's a very Kelly green. Right now it's turning into, it looks a little more emerald, but it's actually a much more vibrant, more yellow green. And so I'm kind of just balls to the wall on this, if you were. And I've been knitting and knitting. I spent the whole weekend. I think I spent about 14 hours over the weekend just sitting and knitting. And so I did get a fair amount of this finished, and I'm going to keep going. I think I have 2 more rounds to go until I'm actually getting to split for sleeves and start working on the front panel and then the back panel. And so that feels good. It feels like I'm actually finally making progress on this thing, and I'm getting it to a point where I might actually be able to wear it in the spring. So I'm hoping. I love the fabric when it's all said and done. I like the swatch. It's a little bit more sheer than I was expecting. I don't know if you can see it's probably hard to see my hand through that, but there's a little background here. So it's a little on the sheer side, but I think once I wear it, and as long as the lighting's fine, I think we'll be good. And so as I mentioned last time, I was just using my old cast on as my working yarn, and I'm still doing that. Last time I showed you, I think I had probably like 6 inches of this. I've only got like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch left. So we are making some really good progress on that. I'm very happy with where we're finally at. And again, Holly, thank you so much for making this possible for me to keep going without giving up hope, because sometimes I give up. All right, moving on. So we have these beautiful freckled mittens, which were a design by Such Bull Knits. She's a friend of mine from my knitting group locally, and she makes some really, really cool designs. And so I test knit for her the freckled mittens, and they turned out beautifully. They were made in Ocean Fibers, Deep Current DK, and I love the way they feel. I love the fabric, and I really love the fit of them. The only problem is what I did to make a problem. So this is how they're supposed to fit. They look really, really nice. They're super warm, super easy to wear, and they stay on. So that's kind of one of the primary things for a mitt. But for me, when I was doing the provisional cast on, and then you had to do ribbing on the top and the bottom, basically, of the palm. And I didn't do enough ribbing on either one. So it was supposed to have 4 rows of ribbing, and I counted it wrong, and I only did 3 rows of ribbing plus a bind off. And as a result, there was a little bitty gap in the middle on the palm. So I thought, how hard could it be? Let's just unpick those bind offs, and then we'll add just another round of ribbing. How hard can it be? Really hard, because this is the hot mess that I have now. I'm trying to make sure that all the stitches I have pulled out are not live and they're actually on a needle right now. But what I didn't take into account was the fact that it's pinned down on each side. So the ribbing has to be pinned down on both sides. And I'm having a hard time finding where that starts and ends, which I'm really surprised by. I can't figure out why. But this is just, I'm not reading it well, so I might need a little assistance to get these done. So these are going to be a fix it, definitely a fix it. Timing TBD. And since it's not super cold anymore here, we haven't even we got like 5 minutes of snow the whole year, which is unusual. So I don't think I'm going to need these until late fall. So these might kind of just go back in their bag, think about what they did, and I'll have the grown-up talk to the baby who can't keep itself together, and maybe they'll learn a little something and they'll magically fix themselves. So, or if there's a leprechaun coming for St. Patrick's Day, this would be a great project, leprechaun, right? Can you finish that, please? Please, I beg of you. All right, so those were the Freckled mitts by Such Bull Knit, and great pattern, easy to follow. I just messed up, and apparently I don't know how to fix that kind of problem, so there we go. All right, way back into the vault again. This is a project that I probably started 5 or 6 years ago. I guess when I restarted knitting around 2021 in earnest, and these I think I even started before that. So I made my husband a scarf in this really cool looking yarn. And I had extra, so of course when you have extra, what else can you do? I was gonna make some mitts. Maybe my theme is mitts and me are just in battle this year. So I made these a long time ago. I didn't finish them. And basically it's just a super easy mitt with the thumb hole, so it's not very complicated. Two row rib knits. The color, I love the color combinations. I made the long scarf. He likes the scarf, although it sits in a bin and doesn't get a lot of wear because I don't think he's really a scarf kind of guy. But so the fabric is nice, super soft, squishy, warm when you need it, fingers open. But then, as I often do, I ran out of yarn. And so they've been sitting on these needles, which if these are 8s, I can steal those for a project I want to work on. So they've been just sitting like this. And so I think this one needs to, it's just been literally sitting on my dining room chair for years. And so I'm calling it right now. These are frogging. Frogging. I'll make them another pair of mitts. I enjoy making mitts, and I have a couple of really cool patterns now. So this, what I'm doing myself, I'm just gonna, frog it. You like that? I know some people are like, you're making a mess. Yes, I am. I tend to make messes, and that's all right. So back these friends go into their bag. I will frog that, and I'll probably end up donating the yarn unless I think of something fabulous and wonderful that I want to make with it. And obviously this bag was my what am I going to do with it bag, because there's another project with needles in here. I would love to tell you what this project with needles is, but I literally have no idea. So it's in the round. It's black. And that's all I know. And it's knit and stockinette. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a frogget because I don't even know what this thing is. And I can use this yarn as an accent or something in a marigumi, or if I need some little eyeballs or something, or if I just need little accents of black like on the side of a sock or something like that, I can use this. So another frogget, that's going to like it takes the stress and pressure off your brain, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but from a psychological perspective, everything you have sitting around waiting for it to be done is basically a stressor sitting on you, waiting and asking you questions like, why aren't you working on me? Why did you set me aside? Why do you have so much junk around the house? And all that starts to kind of burden your brain. And I can use as little burden as possible because the world gives enough burdens on our brains. And I don't need extra. So I'm not going to let my knitting scream at me. I'm going to tell it off, and it's going to get ripped out and think about what it did as it dies a slow, painful, curly death. Yeah, that's right. And if you're going to use these words, please make sure they're in context. I'm killing my yarn. I am not killing anything else. And then there's also a rando ball of what looks like not very delightful yarn. So that's going to go. I'm like, adios. I feel better already. Okay. Let's see. And then I have a couple more projects that I know I'm either have been on needles, hooks that I need to address. I was doing a little little forced clean out this weekend. Somehow I knocked this very cup right here off my nightstand. And note to self, don't use lids that are just popped on. Make sure you use lids that are screwed on, because this one's just a popped on lid, and it fell over, and then I tapped the lid and the lid just fell off, and it just spilled water all over the floor in the middle of the night. So Saturday, I got to do some dry out. And it's also tax season. So if you need a tip for tax season and you want to procrastinate it, clean your house. Knit a sock. There's so many things you can do that you don't have to do the taxes. We'll get to them later, right? They'll be done eventually. It's good enough. All right. So while I was digging next to my nightstand, I found a project that I had made probably 4 years ago, and I believe it was called the Cobblestone Cowl. And I can't remember the organization, but they do online video classes, and you basically free for 24 hours. You can watch all the classes, and if you want to go back and reference the classes, get the patterns and all that stuff, and have just general access to all the things for a large amount of time, you can actually pay for like $50. At least that's what it was, and get what you need. And so one of the patterns was this cobblestone cowl, and I was just kind of getting back into knitting and hadn't really done anything of significance yet. And so I did this as a practice piece. Pretty confident I won't wear it. I actually know I won't wear it because I've had it for more than 5 years, and it's still just sitting in a box that I did get rid of the box. So I'm very proud of myself. The box is gone. And I pulled some things out that I could actually throw away, and I got some yarn to donate that I had bought from Amazon 5 years ago. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. So what I would like to do, this is a finish it project, but it's a finish and donate. So I would love to finish this. It really just needs to be, I think it just needs to have the ends woven in. So I'll weave it in, I'll do a rewash on it, and then I will donate. So hopefully somebody who is out in the cold or does not have a lot of resources will have something that's actually pretty nice to wear, and it looks good. So that's the cobblestone cowl. I'll finish that. And let's see. I've shown this one on the channel before. So this is my little lace crop by Knitatude. I actually have worn this, I was really proud of my own self that I was able to make a project for Flock last year, and it only took me a month. So this is the little lace crop. We've all seen this. We all love it. There it is. You can see the beautiful lace pattern at the bottom. So it has that really nice lace, which I really enjoyed the pattern. And it was very simple to make. As I mentioned before, however, the fit is not quite right. So I resist wearing it because the sleeves are they're kind of wide set intentionally. The only thing is it's supposed to have an I-cord tie basically that goes behind the neck and just ties the two shoulders together. So that'll stop this from happening all the time. I felt like as I was wearing it, I was like this, trying to keep the straps up, which is not what we want. I do it anyway, but I don't want to do it for my clothes. So I'm going to do the I-cord, stitch that on. And then I mentioned before that when I did the underarms, I really used a loose bind off. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do a crochet chain basically from here across to the other side to just tighten it up just a little bit so it's not loose and kind of hanging down on the side. So I think those two tweaks are actually going to make it very, very enjoyable. So I'm going to work on that. I probably won't get it done in February, but it's definitely a target of things to do when I'm in a pause. I just need to break my hands and do something different. And also she's going to get a good gleaning because let's see if I can find, yeah. So, I mean, this fabric really didn't hold up well to wear. This is the Fiber Co. Luma base in Sangria. I love the way it feels, but I think this is just the my bag rubbing against it, but this is only from like 1 day of wear. So it definitely needs to be cleaned up, and obviously I need to wear it in less friction-based environments. All right, so that's that. That's gonna be a simple one. And I have, it's in a bag. This bag is a Fortnum and Mason shopping bag that my friend Kim got me when she went to London in December. So this project lives in here. And I have the extra ball of yarn, and I have my Cordsmith by Size Inclusive Collective. And so I have that ready, and I keep it in a plastic bag just so it doesn't grab yarn. So that's ready to go and easy to find. So I have one more project, but it's not knit, it's actually crochet. So over here is another pattern by Such Bull Knit, so my friend Jess, and she designed this really cool Scrappy t-shirt. So it's basically a crocheted tee in a V, it's a V-neck, and you can do the shoulders. You can either do the shoulders where they kind of make a peak, or you can do them as a cap sleeve, or you can even, she just made it as a pattern that went all the way down and had long sleeves. So gorgeous, you can wear it during the winter, during the summer. And basically I was using a lot of fingering weight yarns that I had gotten for socks, but I wasn't gonna use for socks, or even things that I used to make a pair of socks and still had some left over. So all of this is basically socks. Socks that could have been, would have been, but didn't wanna be. So I love, and I learned pretty much how to crochet with this project. So I learned how to do a granny cluster, a foundational double crochet, and it's a very simple pattern. I stopped, so I even got to, so I was working on the underarm right over here. I had to stop, however, because, well, I had to stop because I found other things that I needed to finish, and I missed the deadline on this one, so I kind of set it aside. And then my daughter accidentally broke my plastic crochet hook that I had been using for it. So that stopped me because I didn't have a size 3 crochet hook. But I went to the Knitter Studio in Bellevue, and I got myself a nice new one that is from Rowan, and it's got a really nice wooden handle and a metal hook. So I'm gonna be back on track with this. And I mentioned the struggle with this one before, is that it's just trying to find the yarn and figuring out the patterning and things like that. Because, I mean, you have to keep changing up your yarn. So I have lots of balls of yarn in here. And so this pattern is not super easy to just take with you. I mean, I guess I can take this, but it's still a pretty big project. All right, so that is my plan. I think most of it, I got quite a few finish-its. I got a couple fix-its and a couple of frog-its. And so I'm actually, I think putting my feet to the fire and actually recording was the thing that is gonna push me over the edge to make some decisions and just get rid of stuff that's been hanging over my head, and I'm not gonna use it, and nobody needs it, nobody wants it, and I can do something better now. So thanks for hanging around with me while I did that. I would love to know more about, by the time you got this, it's gonna be towards the end of February, so did you make any fix-it, frog-it, or finish-it goals? Did you achieve those goals? And are you gonna be doing those projects throughout the year, or did you sit down and just hardcore do it? Get it all done, did you? Because if you did, I'm impressed. Well done. So thanks for hanging out with me today. That's all I have. And if you made it to the end, I appreciate that so much. And you know that we're gonna be best friends. So thanks so much. And again, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the new folks who are joining our group. We are all hopefully just good enough.